Hey everyone, Jamie from Miss Paper here, and today I am sharing a flip through of my completed 2021 Week in the Life album. I'm so excited to share this with you guys, so get ready. So I'm flipping through my completed 2021 Week in the Life, and I am totally obsessed and in love with how this came together. It is one of my most favorite projects I've ever done. I just love how it came out. So I'm gonna flip through to show you how it came together. I did a video showing you my plan for the album a bit ago. I will link it below in the notes section so you can access that if you haven't seen that. Or if you just want to dive in here with me and flip through and see how I approached Week in the Life this year, more power to you. You do what works for you. So the first thing I did was I added a tiny little title with some of the Week in the Life product release, the main kit that was available this year. It had these great like quarter circle die cuts, and I thought they would look nice in these 2x2 pocket page protectors. This was originally a 4x8 page protector, but I cut it down just because I didn't want to put anything in the other spots. I like that this is floating in the middle here. So I added the die cuts in here. I added a floral die cut from Kelly Bangs Creative. Hey Kelly, love your products, girl. I got these florals that she released recently in like a physical pop-up. She doesn't normally do physical stuff. Normally her stuff is printable, but she did something recently, so I grabbed hers, and they were like the perfect addition to this kit because I love Allie's stuff. She does amazing things with circles and squares and like very geometric shapes, and I just found that I was needing something that was a little bit more organic to play alongside all of the more geometric shapes, and these were perfect for that. So this is the little title page, and then on the back side of these, it was white. So I just pulled pieces of pattern paper from my stash and just glued them on the back and cut them out. And then I added another floral and a chipboard piece from the Week in the Life kit. I ended up getting a lot of the Week in the Life stuff this year because just because it was awesome. I loved all of the color that was evident in this collection. Also, can we talk about this beautiful yellow album? I love this color. Yellow is my favorite color. It is my color if you don't know that. I love it so much. I'm not so crazy about the linen because, as you can see here, it attracts all of the dirt and all of the black cat hair that exists in this house. So sometimes I have to lint roll these. It's kind of a pain, but I'm just happy that this album is yellow because it is my favorite color, and I ended up getting two because I'm going to use the other one to document just other 2021 stories. But so this is the Week in the Life one. And then here's my secondary title page using the most beautiful piece of paper I have ever seen. Like, all of the manufacturers should just stop trying because Vicki Wooten has achieved the perfect paper. It is vellum, it is gold foil, it is bright and colorful and beautiful, and I love it. And I used I purchased one 12x12 piece, and I used it throughout the album, and I still have a little bit, and I'm like hoarding that and will definitely use it. And like part of me was like, oh, I need to get more of this paper, but I don't need to because it's like fully showcased here in my album. So it's on display, it has been used, and I'm so happy that it now lives in my album. So this is a lesson for you all who are hoarding paper. Use your paper because there's no better place to showcase your paper than in your albums rather than in a stack on your shelf waiting to be used. So that's my little preachy moment for the video. So I did a photo strip using just a photo of myself and my husband, and then each of our animals, and then also a random, house shot. I used a digital from In a Creative Bubble. It was part of a 4x8 template, but all I ended up using from it was this photo strip. And then I added the Week in the Life die cut that was included in the main kit as well. So I really loved Allie's 6x8 templates that she put out. So I purchased those and used them throughout the album. I used all but one, but I used them just to tell more stories, or in this case, to document like my reason why, because I always think that's important. And then I went ahead and did like an hourly outline of what the day looks like. This is just something that I created in InDesign, and I used colors that match what I did on my main pages, which you'll see here in just a second. But it was just a quick and simple way to like note what I did each day, so I could see like the overview, because you'll see that I didn't really do that in the main pages. And on the back, I put in the Monday look like this, the 4x6 cards that say date look like this, that I filled in. And then I added some more of that awesome pie chart vellum as well. So this is kind of the formula for each of the days. So there's a 6x8 template. There is a 4x8 hourly overview. There is the 4x6 with the pattern paper, talking through all of the ing words, as I call them, feeling, appreciating, enjoying, you know, that whole thing. And then these are my main pages. So on the cover of my main page is another template from Allie, and I pulled color. I just used the color dropper and pulled color from, I don't even know where I pulled the color. Oh, from the templates. From the templates that she had put together, and use those to back each of the days of the week. So they're all different colors. And then I just embellish on top. And on each of these, I made sure to include the date of the week. And most of them have a circle embellishment, but everything else is just totally different from week to week, or from day to day. So they're just embellishment clusters that I thought were fun. And what you do as you're flipping through here is you need to lift up here, which is I added the Avery Index tab, and the stamp is actually from Ellie's Studio. And it comes in a whole set that's about like hidden journaling. So it's perfect for this, because when you lift up here, you see this is how I've approached it. I mentioned in my video where I was talking through my plans that I did this last year, where I ended up picking several different themes and then making myself like a checklist to show that I have taken a photo for each of the specific themes. So the theme for this one is morning. So these are all photos from the morning. And it follows basically like a very basic formula of like a photo, a box of journaling, and a box of embellishments. And so obviously this looks like the happy planner. So it's kind of my way of combining, it is my way of combining the two together, and also of me wrapping my brain around how to approach week in the life. Because I have tried to do this project for so many times over the years, and it has never worked. And this worked for me last year. So in that video where I was describing like my plans for this year, I also show last year's album, so you can see how very similar they are, but also slightly different, because I did wanted to improve on the design that I put together last year. So the colors are different, and they coordinate with the 2019 Week in the Life products. So go look for that video in my comments below, so you can check that out if you're interested in seeing how this has been done before. But like I said, it's essentially just a themed spread, and the theme for this one was morning. So all of these pictures were taken in the morning, telling a little bit about our life in the morning, that whole thing. And I primarily used Allie's Week in the Life kit, along with a few of the extras that I purchased to go along with it. And then I also used some of Kelly's awesome florals in here, like I said, to break up some of the geometric lines with a little bit more organic shapes. So this was for the morning, and I did want to make sure to add this Avery Index tab and this little stamp set, so that you do know that it is something that can be opened. And I actually adhere, instead of making this like an insert all its own, I ended up adhering it on top of a page protector. So it's outside of the page protector, it's been glued on top of it, so that when you flip the page, you can still utilize the pocket, and you'll see that it's been like glued on. You can still utilize the pocket for an additional layout. So I wanted to do double duty there. This is another of Allie's 6x8 templates. I really loved it. I didn't want to do much to these because I thought they were so great. So literally added my photos and then added some journaling. And then here's the same thing of the hourly by the day, and then look like this, ing words. And then here is, well, I mean, here's the cover page for Tuesday, just to let you know that Tuesday was May 11th. But the theme in this one is activities. So these are the various things that I had going on throughout the week. Like the big things, obviously not like, I mean, for me, this was just like the bigger things that I had going on this week. It could have been more granular, less like appointment driven, but that's just how it ended up being for me. So here's activities. And again, using pieces from Allie's release from this year, and some of the stamps. I think these are from last year, but yeah. So that's what this looks like. Again, it's adhered on top of the page protector. This is another of the Kelly Banks floral, so that when you flip it over, you can still utilize the pocket to add a 6x8 page. And this was another of Allie's templates. And this was just pulling various, like the front pages of a few newspapers from around the world, just to get a kind of snapshot of what was going on. I did this last year as well. And I like that I will be able to see, you know, last year was obviously very COVID heavy. This year is still COVID, but there's other things going on and it's not as dominant in the news. So I like seeing that progression over time. And then here's Wednesday by the hour. Here's Wednesday's ing words. And then Wednesday's cover page. All of this is Allie's, and this one little piece is Kelly. And then the subject for this one was around here. I did end up pulling in some other stamps, like this is one by Pink Fresh, to fill in the boxes, because I was running out of product, which is amazing when you saw the amount of product that I had to start with. But yeah, when you put it in this kind of a bigger album, it goes quickly. So I added some extra stamping, and I think this is another stamp set. This is a stamp set from Jen Scow. So I mixed in some stuff from my stash, not a little bit, but I added those in here to fill in some of the little squares. And I did, like I said, like adding in some organic shapes, because obviously this is very linear, very geometric, and I wanted to break that up just a little bit, which is also why at times, like, I put some of the embellishments over the lines. Also why I kind of overlaid this one just to help, and also why I used some half circles. I think I used a half circle on every spread, just wanting to add a bit more balance there. So here's another 6x8 template, and I didn't really have a lot. These were, the thing that I figured out this time is that I need to take more photos in general. Like I actually did really great about taking photos for the specific themes and then taking like a few more photos, but I wish that I had at least like 10 to 20 more photos I could have used, you know, for my cover page, for example. So if you'll notice, the photos here are the exact same as the photos here, which you probably didn't notice, but I'm pointing it out because, like I said, I didn't take enough photos, and I wish that I had more. Like I wish I had another cute picture of my dog and my cat, or in both of my cats, and another picture of me and my husband. But I just didn't take enough photos. And so lesson learned, that is definitely something that I will focus on next year. But so these were just a few of the random photos that didn't fit in with any of the other themes, but that I wanted to include in my album. So hourly, ing words, here's Thursday. I just loved these house patches that Allie came out with this year. They were so cute. I have, I think, 2 left that I've kept in my stash but I'm happy that like I found homes for most of them in this album. I just think they were the greatest addition. I love houses. I think they can be used so often in our scrapbooking because so many of our stories are taking place within our homes. And so I think that that was really a really great addition. And I love the bright colors. I just think they're fun. I had for some of these, I played with like tone on tone. And then for others, I just mixed up the colors just for contrast. There wasn't really any rhyme or reason to when I did that. Well, actually, maybe the story of today, I tried to color match all of those to their respective boxes on the grid. But other than that, it was just kind of play it by ear to tell if I wanted to do tone on tone or not. Here's a layout I did about work. I purchased the work stamp set that was part of the release. And I printed this on photo paper, which is great for printing photos, but not so great for stamping. So I had to stamp these a few times just to get them to look like this, because obviously the paper is meant to absorb the ink. And so it wasn't as great for stamping. And I thought about it before I did all of my printing, and I should have printed things differently. I will do it differently next year. But this year I decided to print everything on photo paper, and now I know that I don't want to do that for reasons like this, because it made stamping a little bit more difficult. The smaller stamps were fine, but like the larger ones you can definitely tell aren't stamped that great. And that's okay. I know how to make it work for me next year. So hourly, ing words, and we get into a spread that's all about me. So I wanted to do one that was about me. You'll see one about my husband. You'll see one, you saw one previously about my fur babies. So for all of the living things in our home, we each got some representation here to kind of show what was going on in each of our lives. So this was a stamp from Heidi Swap from her March Stamp Society. I really loved that one. But for the most part, everything is still Allie's products from Week in the Life. Here's another 4x6 template. Just various social media things. And then here is the spread about my husband. Just some things about what he was doing around the house. He went into work a few times. He went golfing. Yeah. There's that. And we're getting to the end here. I went to a drag brunch on Sunday. This has been planned for months and months, so it was kind of fun that it ended up on this Sunday when I was documenting Week in the Life, because I got to include it here. And then this last spread is all about evening. So you notice the first theme was mornings. This last theme is about evenings. There's the themes of me, my husband, our fur babies. There is activities that we did throughout the day, like specific things that were on the calendar. And then also there's an around here, which is kind of just a general one that I put together. And I think that gives us a pretty good overview of what a week is like here. Especially what it's like in the evening and what it's like in the morning. And, you know, for this specific year, for this specific week, you know, what were activities and events and things going on. So I really love how this came together. And then the last page here is just the tiniest bit of ephemera that I collected. I really did not collect. I learned this now, and this is something that I hadn't realized before, was that I don't really collect a lot of ephemera throughout the week. So I passed my Adobe certified, my ACP, I guess. And then we went to this restaurant and they had these postcards. So I took one of the postcards to add here. So yeah, not a lot of ephemera going on in this album, but that's okay. Like, I feel like I've gotten a really good snapshot of what our life looked like this week in 2021. I like seeing the contrast between 2021 and 2020, where I was not working. I was only going to school full time. So there was already like a marked difference around like the activities that I was doing, that kind of thing. My husband was only working from home back then. So now he's like going into the office. So I like being able to see the passage of time from this year to next. And so that's one of the reasons why I was so excited that I figured out how to make this work for me. And I'm planning to do it again next year. And I will be even more excited to see the passage of time and how things have changed. And also for me, I don't do traditional project life. I mentioned that in another video. So this is kind of that snapshot for me of all of the little pieces of life right now. And I love that it's like a singular project that is contained in one album, and it's done now. And it was actually really quick to put together once it was done. You know, doing these is really quick, you know, going back, just pulling your photos, adding in a bit of journaling, and then having fun embellishing. It took a bit longer, you know, to do these clusters, to do these extra pages, to do these extra inserts, but that's fine. Like, that's something I wanted to spend my time doing. And so it's a bit more well-rounded than previous years when I didn't kind of do like an hourly overview of what our day looked like. So I just think it's fun, and I'm so happy and proud to have this album complete and able to put it on my bookshelf completed. And it has its own little spine label as well, 2021 Week in the Life. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.